My best friend's son just asked if he can have my last name. My best friend Grant died of cancer 15 years ago. He was 25. I was 23 and sleeping on his couch when he got the diagnosis. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. The doctors gave him 6 months. He had a 3-year-old son named Caleb. The mom had walked out when Caleb was 6 months old. We never heard from her again. Grant's parents had both passed years before. It was just him and Caleb. I watched my best friend since elementary school waste away over 5 months. Near the end, he could barely get out of bed. I'd bring Caleb to the hospital every day after picking him up from daycare. Caleb would climb into the bed and show Grant his drawings. Grant would smile, even though I could see how much pain he was in. 3 weeks before Grant died, he asked me to stay after visiting hours. He looked at me and said, "I need you to take him. There's nobody else. Promise me you'll take him." I was 23 years old. I just graduated college. I was working at a call center, barely making rent. I was sleeping on his couch because I couldn't afford my own place yet. I said yes before he finished asking. Grant died on a Tuesday morning. Caleb was at preschool. I had to pick him up and tell him Daddy wasn't coming home. He asked if Daddy was done being sick now. I said yes. He asked if we could go see him. I didn't know how to explain that we couldn't. Social services tried to take Caleb into foster care. I fought them with a lawyer I couldn't afford. Paying in installments, I'm still not sure how I managed. After 3 months of evaluations and home visits and background checks, they granted me guardianship. I moved into a 1-bedroom apartment. Caleb got the bedroom. I slept on the couch for 2 years until I could afford a 2-bedroom. Those first years almost broke me. Caleb had separation anxiety so bad he'd scream if I left his sight. I had to bring him to work twice because I couldn't find childcare. My manager threatened to fire me both times. I learned to make pancakes from a box mix because it was the only thing Caleb would eat. I learned to cut hair from YouTube because I couldn't afford a barber. When Caleb was 5, a kid at kindergarten asked him where his dad was. Caleb came home and asked me what he should say. I told him his dad was in heaven, but that I was taking care of him now. He asked what that made me. I said I was his Uncle Cole, but I was going to be here forever. He thought for a minute, and then said, "Can I just call you Dad? It's easier." I had to leave the room so he wouldn't see me cry. I met Maya when Caleb was 8. I told her on the first date that I had a kid, that he wasn't mine biologically, but he was mine in every way that mattered. She showed up to our second date with a skateboard. Caleb had been begging for one for months. She asked if she could teach him some tricks. She used to skateboard competitively in high school. We got married 2 years later. Caleb carried the rings down the aisle. He took 3 practice runs the morning of the wedding to make sure he wouldn't drop them. Maya and I had twin boys 3 years after we got married, then a daughter 2 years after that. Caleb was 13 and 15 when they were born. He changed diapers without being asked. He'd walk the twins around the house at 2 a.m. when they wouldn't stop crying. He taught our daughter to swim when she was 4. I never treated Caleb differently than our biological kids. Same allowance, same rules, same punishments when they screwed up, same college savings account. Same everything. Last year, Caleb applied to colleges. He wrote his admission essay about losing his dad at 3 and being raised by his dad's best friend who became his father, about learning what it means to show up for someone. He got accepted to his first choice with a partial scholarship. He starts this fall. He wants to study social work. 2 weeks ago was my 38th birthday. After dinner, Caleb asked if he could talk to me and Maya alone. He sat us down in the living room. He pulled out a folder from his backpack. He said, "I've been thinking about this since I turned 18 last month. I can legally do this now without anyone's permission." He opened the folder. Inside were adult adoption papers, already filled out, just missing our signatures. Caleb looked at me and said, "You've been my dad since I was 3 years old. You taught me to ride a bike. You helped me through my first breakup. You stayed up with me studying for finals. You chose me when you didn't have to. My biological father loved me, but you raised me. You're my dad. I want to officially be your son. I want your last name. I want people to know I'm yours." He'd been carrying those papers in his backpack for 3 weeks, waiting for the right moment. I signed them. Maya signed too.